Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. So this is just an introduction to introduce myself to you. So my name is Amelia White. I work as a therapist who has chosen to specialise in supporting those who went to boarding school. So why? Why have I done that? Um, I first trained to be a counsellor about 15 years ago now, and went into various different organisations. I've worked for the NHS, branches of rape crisis, I've worked for the university, I've taught students on training courses, um, all sorts of different charities. And it was actually, I was working for a women's charity in Brighton, and I got made redundant actually. And that was really hard because I really enjoyed that work and I really enjoyed working with the team that we had. But I wasn't able to meet the criteria as such of what they needed at that time. They only wanted CBT therapists, and the work that we were doing had to be reduced down into this kind of 6-week program. And well, I was no longer a good fit for them. So it really kind of caused me to think, okay, what do I want to do now? It was hard to walk away from that. But it was about that time that I first came across Nick Duffell's book, The Making of Them. And reading that book was a bit of a kind of eureka moment for myself. I had gone to boarding school when I was 11, and suddenly everything fell into place. It all made sense. The things that I had thought were unique to me weren't. And that's quite an amazing revelation to have. And I hear that a lot from ex-boarders when they first discover this. So many people are saying, I cannot believe it's taken me until my 70s for some people, even later for others, to actually uncover this. And they've been sitting with a lot of the trauma from their boarding school, keeping it hidden, keeping it secret, not feeling that they can talk to people about it, that they're justified to for their whole life. And often when people come across this, they have to go through a huge period of grief because there can be part of them that is angry that they haven't realized it until now. All those what ifs. How different could my life have been if I had understood that this has shaped me in some ways? Predominantly lifting shame about why we are the way we are. Why do we struggle to fit in? Why do I have a disconnect from my family, for example? All those different reasons. Often coming across boarding school syndrome, coined by Joy Shavarian, can make sense of these things. So it did that for myself personally, having been in therapy for years and years, 10 years of individual therapy, and it had never really been brought up. Again, something else that I often hear from other people. So I decided to look into this. So it was a personal endeavour of my own, and then also professionally. And there was part of me that felt, God, if this can do this for me, then I really want to be able to open this up to more and more people. So I went on and trained, did a particular kind of in-depth psychotherapy training with Nick Duffell in order to really explore this and to be able to provide a really kind of well, a therapeutic service to clients individually. And then it was about the same time that I decided that I wanted to run groups. It was during COVID. And initially, I was working at Brighton University actually during COVID and facilitating process groups for students. And we had to go online. And I was really reluctant to do that. Um, and actually resigned from that position because wasn't something that I wanted to do. However, like with many of us, we have had to adapt. And I started to think about actually creating an online group for ex-boarders because there are people all over the world who are very isolated, who don't have a sense of belonging. And although I would always choose to work in person, by offering services online, it means that actually we can reach people all over the world. And the groups that I have run and that I do, I have people who connect with people from Australia, from New Zealand, from Ireland, from Spain, from all different parts of the world. And they're always amazed at how close they can get actually in this online space. So it kind of made me realize that actually this was something that was worth offering. I remember a time of having doubts about it, and I remember a woman in New Zealand just saying, Amelia, this is your duty to do this. You have transformed my life. And that was really powerful, actually. And it's that has kept me going with doing the online work that I do and the groups that I do. Um, so it changes along the way. Every year, the courses I do, I tweak slightly, I adapt slightly. So I now run a kind of a large group, well, a kind of large space, I suppose. It's an online course. By large, I mean it goes on for 6 months. So it's very detailed and in depth. And enables people to really focus on the impacts of their schooling and their childhood. People often think, oh, but it's not just boarding school. What about my relationship with my family or my life before school? And that's all very much part of it. That's what we look at and explore, and how that shaped our sense of self. Um, so I now mostly see ex-boarders. I still see some individual clients from years ago that aren't linked to boarding school, but predominantly, which means that I have quite a huge wealth of experience now working with ex-boarders, because I've been doing this predominantly having, I don't know, 20 or so individual clients a week. And now with the courses, it goes up to hundreds of ex-boarders that I work with. So I have a lot of experience supporting those, and yeah, providing a sense of getting it, I guess. Um, so now I thought, right, I'm going to come onto YouTube like everyone else seems to do. And yeah, I hope to share some of my reflections as I go along here. I hope to give the opportunity for others to use their own voices, share their own stories, be heard, be listened to, and I will just see organically what happens as we go along. So this is my first posting, so lovely to see you if you're watching. And if you want any other information, my website is theboardingschooltherapist.com, and you'll find out more about me there. Okay.